how do you feel better about it? How do you let go of the the shitty experience, the poor result, the unmet expectations, whatever it is that's keeping you feeling stuck, unhappy, and just miserable? Because I was there this weekend. I was there until just a few minutes ago. And I think this is what value I can provide in this space right now is that mental aspect. What happens to you post competition when, things just don't go the way that you want it? When you're able to decouple the beliefs that you have, the flawed beliefs that you have that no longer serve you in the moment. That's the key to you being able to relieve some of that pressure off of yourself. And it relieves some of that kind of emotional beating up of yourself with regards to your performance. Hey everybody, Ian here. I want to talk about what you need to do if a CrossFit competition doesn't go your way. And the reason I want to talk about this is because even though I am not actively competing in anything CrossFit other than me against myself, I do know what it's like to compete and to stew and to dwell on what didn't go well. And then to just rerun that stuff over and over and over and over again in my mind. So what I want to share with you is a way for you to identify the fact that you are stewing and dwelling or worrying about something in the future. And then how do you feel better about it? How do you let go of the shitty experience, the poor result, the unmet expectations, whatever it is that's keeping you feeling stuck, unhappy, and just miserable? Because I was there this weekend. I was there until just a few minutes ago. And I think this is what value I can provide in this space right now is that mental aspect. What happens to you post competition when, things just don't go the way that you want it, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example based on this past weekend to give you some context and how I'm feeling. And let me know if you feel something similar to what I experienced. Because I guarantee you're not alone in this. We're human. We all do things like this. And I want to be a part of you feeling better about where you're at so you can move into your day, you can move into your life and feel better about yourself. So I entered a golf tournament, a 3-round golf tournament. And for some of you, this is going to be boring as shit, but I don't care. This is reality, and this is how I experienced it. Okay. But I guarantee you will see and feel something like this in your life, regardless of the competition. Okay. So enter this competition. I play my first round on Saturday. Things go really quite well, really. And I'm only a couple of shots off the lead after the first round. I'm feeling pretty good about things. And then I go into round 2. And so I've got some expectations about maybe keeping that momentum and doing just as well on the second day. But things do not go my way. I put a bunch of balls out of bounds. Even when I hit shots really, really well, I would end up with a poor lie or tricky placement. I had there was shit weather. There was it poured rain to start, and then it kind of dried up for a bit and took off all those clothes, and then it started to rain again, and I think I was completely out of it after 3 holes. I think I was like 10 strokes over after 4 holes, which is crazy bad. And I'm a B class golfer, so I shoot a mid 80s, right? So that's just horrible. Anyways, so I play really badly, and then the weather started to get even worse, and there started to be thunder showers happening, and I was rushing, and it was pouring. It was raining so hard at one point that rain was actually pouring through me, through my jacket, and into my shoe as I was trying to putt. So with 3 holes to go, I said, you know what? I'm playing horrendously. I'm miserable. I'm freezing. I just need to get out of here. And with the lightning happening even more frequently, I'm like, this is just a recipe for disaster. I'm out of here. So I tell my mates, I'm out of here. Just give me a max score on the next 3 holes. I will meet you in the clubhouse. And I ran from the 16th hole all the way into the clubhouse, completely soaked. I stripped off all my clothes. I put on a fresh, dry set of clothes. And then I just sat there and I just like over and over in my head started thinking about, what I did on the first hole and how I shouldn't have hit the driver right away. I should have waited, and when it made more sense. And I was just running through all of the things that I did poorly or that were unfortunate, um, and everything. Okay. Anyways, sign scorecards, go home, but I can't turn my brain off. I still feel like shit. I'm not happy with the day. I'm not happy with where I ended. And that ran through my night. I was up until well, I fell asleep okay, but I ended up waking up in the middle of the night, still thinking about this stuff. And then this morning, still feel bad about it, still running through all the scenarios and what went wrong and all this stuff. And I finally had a chance to kind of sit down and take a breath and do some meditation, which is always really great for me in helping to separate myself from my thoughts, but it still wasn't enough. But what came to me while I was meditating was, okay, let's try to break things down even more. Let's decouple what happened from the emotions that I'm feeling currently inside. And what I want to share with you is a process of decoupling the emotions and your conditioned beliefs, because it's your conditioned beliefs that make you think and feel a certain way about things. So, and what I mean by conditioned beliefs, I'm going to share a metaphor that I've been using for the last about 10 years, and I call it the lens of life. So if you can imagine, we're all holding a giant contact lens up, and this contact lens is colored, colored, tinted, and distorted by the experiences we have growing up, by the parental modeling that we have. It's basically just a set of beliefs that we hold dear to us, that we believe, but we can't see them because it's right against our eye. It's just the way we see life, right? So it's like all your belief structures, your opinions, this is right, that's wrong, this is good, this is bad, any beliefs you have about yourself, it's all conditioned based on your past, through growing up. And what I ended up doing this morning was actually writing down all of the conditioned beliefs that I believe are keeping me feeling stuck. So one of those things is never quitting. I've had that, hammered into me since I was a little kid. You started this, you're going to finish this. I quit on the 16th hole. Okay, so then I decouple that from the actual situation. I'm playing golf in pouring rain in a thunderstorm. This is not quitting. This is survival. This is not being dumb. I'm not enjoying myself. I'm shivering like crazy. There's thunder and lightning going on. It's pouring rain, and I'm stuck behind another several set of golfers who are trying to finish this out in this pouring rain. And I left. So that quitting is something that has been ingrained in me, is something I should never do. Right. So I already feel this kind of, what's the word? Like embarrassment and guilt for quitting something that I should finish. And kind of layered on top of that is getting recognized for never quitting, right? So, way to stick it out, way to push through, way to, make things happen, right? No, there's no gold star for getting struck by lightning on the golf course, or toughing it out. That's the dumbest thing ever, right? And I'd hate to be a statistic in the local newspaper because I wanted to finish my golf game. right? Ridiculous. So that was one thing. Another thing that I experienced was oh shoot, what was it? I wrote down a bunch of them earlier. So never being a quitter, um, always doing my best, right? How can I be doing my best if I'm quitting, right? Also, because it was raining so hard and whatever, I ended up taking a bunch of like rushed shots just to get it done, right? So that's not doing my best. So that's another conditioned belief where you have to put your best foot forward. You have to try right to the end. Like you're always in the game until you quit, kind of thing. So that's something that I have been conditioned in my life, that you never give up, regardless of circumstance, right? And it's kind of like that whole underdog, scenario where the underdog comes back from the depths of despair, and they manage to do something great. Again, not worth it. So when you're able to decouple the beliefs that you have, the flawed beliefs that you have that no longer serve you in the moment, that's the key to you being able to relieve some of that pressure off of yourself. And it relieves some of that kind of emotional beating up of yourself with regards to your performance. So if I can relate this back to somebody in CrossFit, if you have any experience that's making you or causing you to dwell on the past, to dwell on the results, to kind of like rerun everything in your mind over and over and over again, my recommendation to you would be to first take a break, meditate, right? Try to take a break from where you are and what's going on inside of you, and try to get everything out on paper, right? Get it out of here, put it down on there, and then you can start to evaluate those areas that make you feel bad about yourself. Identify what the conditioned belief in you could be, where you picked that up as a child, who you picked it up from. Guaranteed 90% of that stuff is going to be from your parents. And then ask yourself if it still serves you. And does it serve you here in this moment? And if it doesn't, then you can let that go. You can decouple the emotion from what happened, from the learned belief structure that you've been given. And then you can adopt a new belief that you want to hold dear moving forward, right? So this is just an example of how you can use this in a post-competition kind of like after action kind of thing. So you have your event, and I guarantee you're going to dwell on the stuff that didn't go well more than anything else, right? Like in my mind from the golf game, my first shot in the woods, second shot, lost ball. Like all I'm thinking about the par three where I got stuck in the sand and couldn't get out and took 4 shots in the sand. Like it was a shit show of a performance. But those are the things I'm holding on to, not the 300-yard drives, not the driving a green in 2, not the great chip or the really good putt. I'm not focused on any of the things that really went well. I'm only focused on that negative, what didn't go well, and beating myself up based on these conditioned beliefs that surround never giving up, quitting, and being recognized for toughing it out. So those beliefs in this scenario don't serve me. They don't serve me anymore, right? But now I can put those aside, and I can get back into the flow of my daily life. I can get back into the flow of enjoying what I've got in front of me. I'm going to have a golf game next weekend. I have zero pressure on myself. It's just going to be a fun experience. That's it. That's all. Great. And because there's no way I can win. I think I've even been cut, so I don't even have to worry about it. I just get to go play a round of golf. So use these experiences of the negative emotion to then analyze why you're there, separate them, and then move forward. Just the analysis alone will alleviate some of that emotional discomfort, and you can move on in a more satisfied and productive way. I hope this was helpful. If it was, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that YouTubey stuff. And I can't wait to be of service in the future. Take care, everybody. See you soon.